all.
Hi.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hey brothers and sisters.
It's
You
late.
look you look tired.
It's late
Where's
evening.
where's Owen?
Oh,
I'm here.
Okay,
he's there.
It's invisible, right?
We all look miserable, brother.
I
Sleeping
can't.
time, brother. Napping.
Joking.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
come on,
uh,
start.
so we are going to discuss about what are the articles that we are going to choose. Two articles that we are going to choose for our particular task. So before deciding on the articles, of course, we need to discuss on what are the topic or themes that we are interested in. Because as we know, those two articles need to be of the same theme or topic. So what do you think, Abby?
All right. So I'm very much leaning towards the perception or attitude of educators and learners, specifically in the context of English language teaching and learning. So I believe that a majority of us are English language teachers. So this is very much relevant, reliable, and something that I believe is evolving in terms of the education system alone, and also the technological tool, or in this case, call specifically. And one thing I would like to point is why it's very much relevant is because this pandemic is an example of its relevancy, in my opinion. So I'm leaning very much towards positively towards the perception or attitude or behavior of educator and learners. So
Okay,
that's
thank you, Abby. Yeah. Thank you, Abby. Basically, perception is the most one of the most important factor when we are dealing with teaching and learning, because we need to know how do teachers and students perceive when we want to implement new things, especially something relevant and related to this technological basis pedagogy. Okay, so
yes. One
next,
more thing I would like to add, I'm sorry. All right. Because when we talk about perception, we always think about mindset, mentality, perspective, right? But I think that perception is very much related to understanding the relationship between learner and an educator, and also their behavior, because behavior will allow a person to have a critical thinking of how the world evolves around them, especially in the context of education or academic. Yeah.
yeah, I like about this kind of topic perception. But what is lacking in our current research is, of course, when dealing with perception of teachers in Malaysian context. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Owen?
All right. When it comes to perception of people, I mean, usually there'll be many perceptions of like students, teachers, and even parents, right? But it's actually very important for the educators to know what are the flaws and what are the advantages of using the technological applications or software to, to teach, especially. So, in terms of perception, as what Abby mentioned, it's actually very important to know all these papers that it's actually helpful for the future generation, especially the educators or the syllabus makers, to know what they perceive of this technological stuff, so that they can come up with good textbooks which actually they can interrelate with all this listening or even viewing all these videos and stuff which actually students really like at this current time.
What Brother Owen mentioned is very much related to 21st century learning and future readiness. Because as teachers, we should be equipped with the knowledge of all these technological tools, and also taking into account what is our feeling, where we are as an educator, our level, our technological savvy aspect. So I think what Brother Owen said is very much, I agree with you.
That's true. It's
So,
actually such a
basically, we have one theme about just now Abby mentioned about the perception of teachers and students. Another two themes contributed by Owen, 21st century learning and teachers or educators' readiness in implementing those technology. Next, Sammy, what about your opinion? What theme? What
Well,
topics?
I do agree with what Abby and Owen have just said, and because as Abby said, because of the pandemic going on, I think everyone now is going to shift from teaching and learning traditional methods like face-to-face learning and teaching into online platforms, and therefore I think computer-assisted language learning is becoming a new thing for all of us. And from now on, I think most of the students and teachers they need to have a comprehensive idea about the new gadgets and tools used in computer-assisted language learning, and therefore it is very crucial for us to understand the perception of teachers and students and learners at the same time. So I believe that whole idea, um, the concept of perception and attitudes towards implementing call into teaching and learning approaches is something that we need to look at.
What
Yes,
about Anissa?
Sammy, just now.
Would you like to share about your input other than this perception? Because we've been talking about your perception all the time. So, what is your
Yeah,
input?
I'm interested in the one that Brother Sammy said just now about the online platforms, because we have abundance of online platforms nowadays, as well as when you have that you mentioned about gadgets and the tools. Yeah, there are possibilities of using all these tools. For example, we have Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and then
Google Meet,
previously
for
we did
instance.
yes, Google Meet. Previously we did about all this Kogel, this Flipgrid. I think there are of course research or studies available online, and we can always find relevant studies regarding this method. And then I'm always interested in looking at blended learning. You guys, I'm so worried about this caption, because it looks wrong.
Yeah, because it's translating what we are talking, but it's not accurate
That's
at
why.
all.
Never
It's
mind.
okay. It's okay. We have the video recording. That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right,
basically,
continue, Anissa. Mhm.
I'm interested in searching and maybe analyzing some of the research or studies related to blended learning, because blended learning is one of the contemporary issues when you're talking about 21st century. Might it be online learning, online platforms? It is so relevant with us. Okay, so guys, we need to choose. So in order to choose it, can we go to what are the points that we have? Uh, can you guys justify a bit which area, which teams? Okay, can we start with Sammy?
No, no, no.
Yes,
Not
it's okay. We can come to an
Okay.
unanimous decision based on this.
Okay, it's okay, Sammy. I'll state
yeah.
my point first. So I
Okay.
think
Okay.
in order to choose, I think the first requirement would be, this is my personal opinion. I think the first requirement would be the year of publication, because we need to really look at it as this call is something related to technology, and technology is something that evolving every day, and we need to find the latest one. So I think if we manage to some sort of find articles between 2019 2020, we have in Scopus 2021 as well, so it's so updated. So what about you, Abby? What are the justifications or things that we need to look at?
I definitely firmly agree with Anissa. It's just some sort of realization, okay, when it comes to choosing articles for any assignment generally, because the year of publication is something that is very much important that many people overlook, if I could say that word. Because why? I'm sorry, but this is just my personal opinion. Like Anissa said, we are in a wave of the advancement or the changing or the evolution of technological, global technological aspect. So whatever research that we are taking, if it is current as possible, it's something that not only we are able to learn, we are able to gain, but it's also for us to improve ourselves. and we also can detect whatever gaps or whatever problems or obligation that we could actually find solution, or we could suggest solution for the future learners. So one of the aspects that Anissa mentioned, the year of publication is very much relevant. And not only that, the other relevant or my justification is in context of Malaysia, because we are in Malaysia. So I think we should look much more deeper in the context of Malaysian education system. Specifically, we could either choose the rural or urban area, especially the rural area, because call is not only it's not catered to everyone. Not everyone has the means or the tools to use computer assisted learning or teaching programs or software. So this is another justification. And we can also learn about the perception of teacher, how they feel. Like, rural areas, children do not have the technology, they don't even have the internet is very bad. Even ourselves, our internet is like up and down. What about the people who are living in the remote area or rural areas? So, what are their perception, the kids' perception, the parents, even the teachers, with minimal tools of learning and teaching? So, I think it's very much interrelated. So, that's one of the justification why I have leaning towards the perception and attitudes of learners and teachers. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we have,
about that
so yeah, we do
context.
have different kind of views. So as you mentioned, we need to consider the year of publication. Abby said also mentioned that we need to try as much as possible to find articles related to the Malaysian context. I would say, yeah. Also, we need to look at, as you mentioned, the perception, and also we can look at the challenges, for instance, that is facing, for example, teachers' uh, own perception about using these kind of platforms and technologies. Are they willing to use them and apply them within the newly teaching era, or sometimes
Yes,
they do
and
have their own fears to use them, and therefore this will actually stand between delivering the message and the recipient, which are the learners. So we have multiple perspectives and point of views that we can focus on while we are looking for such kind of articles.
one interesting thing that I would like to highlight from what Sammy said was really, really interesting for me, because why? When it comes to perception, yeah, we not only want to know what the teacher think about it, but also their level of anxiety and fear of not being able to use certain technology. For example, there are some teachers that doesn't even know what is Padlet or
Yeah.
Flipgrid.
Yeah, they come
All right.
from a different age group. The ones that we had last semester, is it
Yes.
baby boomers? What was it?
Yes, baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y.
Exactly,
So this is one of
exactly.
the
So
challenges,
they
yeah.
come from a different era. They are not
Yeah,
really,
yeah. So
used
their
to it.
perceptions are different.
Yes, whenever it comes to using computers and stuff, they would say
Yeah,
no. They would
yeah,
stick to the traditional way of teaching. So this could be one of the hinders that can
yeah.
stand between learning and teaching. What about
Okay.
Brother Owen?
Yes, Owen.
No,
Yeah.
most of you have spoken. I'm not sure what to even say. All right. When you talk about, Sis Abby mentioned about rural areas, right? Yeah. Besides rural areas, I noticed maybe even the students' background. Some of them they can't exactly afford to have a good internet connection. And I previously I remember when I was working in SMT Kampapulai as a substitute teacher. So maybe some kids they are the type who are quite truant. They don't come to school quite often, and the motivation is not there. So it's sometimes it's something related to the student's background, the family background itself. So in terms of how for me to choose the article, usually the first thing that I'll do usually I'll go for the titles. The first the titles, and then if the titles are quite related to the, I mean, more up to date to the 2019 and 2020, or worst come to worst is 5 years the gap is like 2015 until 2020 should be fine for me. And then I would like to go for the research questions if they are quite useful for the current time or for the future generation to conclude in what they should improve on. So that's my opinion.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So basically, guys, we have this relevance to our context, and then we have the year of publication, and then we have the topic that within our interest. So these three main justification can actually guide us towards choosing the best article. And then because previously you guys shared a few articles in the groups, right? Okay,
Yes.
so I think for the purpose of this discussion, why don't we look at some of those articles, and maybe you can point out the title. Can we just look at our WhatsApp group and point a few which is relevant to just now we talk about perception, right? So why don't
Yes.
just we scroll for a while and then at least point out a few relevant articles. Maybe we can choose later, but we can discuss a bit.
Yes. Yes. Why not? From what we have went through, I would say one of the articles that I think all of us will agree upon is EFL pre-service teachers' perceptions towards the use of code in the English language classrooms. So this
Okay.
would be one of the potential articles that we can actually agree on. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
another
I
one.
agree with Sammy. I agree with Sammy because the article is also published or written in the year 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very much updated. And also there's a notion of EFL, not ESL, because
Yes.
ESL is as a second language, and whereas EFL is a foreign language, is something that's foreign
Correct.
to them. So this is something very interesting and exciting. As for English teacher like myself, I think it's exciting. All right. There's another one that Brother Owen shared, if I'm not mistaken. It is about the attitude towards a computer, towards call. All right.
Yeah, got
There's,
one.
there's a gender,
Uh,
age, and educational.
yeah.
That is something very much interesting, intriguing actually.
Attitude towards computer assisted
Mhm.
language learning. Do
Yeah,
gender, age, and educational level matter?
yeah.
Yes. Brother
Okay,
Owen is
guys,
laughing.
guys. So basically, we are going to stick with perception related area. Is that so?
Yes.
Is it an
Yeah.
unanimous? Can I see a raise of hand? Who's agreeing?
Sure, sure, sure.
All
We
of us.
go very
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I hope it is something that everybody is interested in, and then if you're not interested, that you will gain an interest. All right. Okay.
Yeah, we
Anything
should learn.
else? Anissa, would you like to say something? Because you're a teacher, right? Are you teaching in a primary school?
Yes, I'm teaching in a primary school. By the way, we can save those discussion for the next session, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like, is it 30
This is
minutes?
like our secret weapon right now. We don't want to reveal everything.
Okay. Is it okay? Is it less than 30 minutes? Is it okay?
I think as long as we
Answer the
cover
questions.
yeah answer the
Yes.
questions and cover
What
all the
and why?
criteria. Yeah. So why not? Yeah.
Okay. So,
Because we need to upload this. Yeah, you said Abby that we need to upload this like before
yeah, we
six
have to
forty-five.
email doctor this video and we have to email him the
Yeah,
chosen articles for his
yeah,
approval. So if he's given us the green light, and then we can move on to the next recording, which will be, I'm not sure when. It is very much
yeah.
challenging because we have to go in detail. We have to critically review the articles and prepare for
So if the professor agrees on the articles, that means we have two articles.
Mhm.
Each two of us will take one article and will read, and then
Okay.
we prepare our thoughts and criticism and everything, and then we
Or
combine together.
we can finalize the pair. Anissa, would you mind working with me? Is it okay?
Yeah, okay. I thought you're going to work with Owen, right?
It's okay. I think Brother Owen can work with Sam. He's very much similar with
Yes,
Brother Sammy.
of course.
I hope,
Yeah.
I
Can
hope, I
get
hope that,
along.
guys, I hope that this doesn't mean gender discrimination.
No,
Okay.
no, we are.
By the way, guys, we can always
I'm
use
joking.
our group. By the way, guys, we can always use our group as a platform to discuss because I like working as group. It's just that we discuss in pairs, but we come up and describe everything and analyze and conclude in a group.
Yes, we can just
That's
work
very
in group. We can do like it's group one, group two, and then we can compare and contrast and then give our input. That's all.
Yeah,
But
because
all of us have to read all.
true.
yeah,
That's all.
because I'm always excited to work with my brothers
And
And
sister.
sisters, and sisters.
and sister as well.
Yeah,
Okay. All
true,
right,
true.
guys. I think that's it, right? Anissa, thank you so much. Okay, for initiating. Okay, thank you for sharing. Anissa, Sammy, and Brother Owen, thank you so much for sharing. Okay,
Oh,
and I really applaud and cherish you guys because we can work really well, and I hope we will just maintain this until the rest of our life, not the
Hopefully.
end of the semester.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Take care. Go and get your dinner or prayers. You have to prepare for prayer, right? It's going to be Maghrib. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
30
Um,
minutes from now. Yeah.
Brother Owen, smile. Where are you looking at? Look at us.
I'm
Bye.
preparing the email actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
fast
All
and
right.
furious, like usual.
Okay,
That's
guys.
that's good. Okay, guys, thank you very much. So we're
Maybe
gonna
just update us
stop
the
recording.
voice. Okay. Bye bye.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you, guys. Bye.